What's up, guys? This is Cory. Welcome to CNA Films and Animation. Today I'm going to talk about a film that was recommended by a good friend of mine, Mowen. First off, I want to give a shout out or kind of a nudge toward his channel. His channel is Mr. Nick Mowen, and he does a great job with his reviews. He does some Blu-ray reviews and stuff, and just a really nice guy. So I highly recommend that you check out his channel. And he requested that we review Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out in 1974 and was directed by Tobe Hooper. And basically, this film is often considered to be one of the most controversial films ever made. And this was a very important film for the horror genre. Originally, Tobe Hooper was studying a little bit. He wanted to make a movie, and he heard things about some serial killers. For instance, Ed Gein, who was really big in the 1950s. He was known to have worn women's skin, kill his victims, stuff like that. And basically, Ed Gein was the inspiration for many big name movies, for example, Psycho and Silence of the Lambs, as well as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And so Tobe Hooper wanted to make this movie. He didn't really have much of a budget, and he didn't really have much of a cast. I mean, a bunch of no-names, but they got together and they decided to make this movie. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre was basically about group of teenagers, their friends. They are heading to this. They're heading to one of their father's or uncle's farmhouse, something like that. And basically, they pick up a hitchhiker who they find out is nutso crazy, and they kick him on the side of the road, drive down, and they come across this house. And they go into the house and they come across weird events, basically. There's a man who lives in this house who is killing them one by one, as little do they know. And, the entire family of people, basically. And it's just kind of a sick, sadistic, kind of cultish family dynamic that gives these groups of teenagers one hell of a ride, basically. And by that I mean, slaughters them. But that's beside the point. The film is supposedly based on a true story. However, that's not true. It's more loosely based on, things with like Ed Gein or even Elmer Wayne Henley. And so, yeah. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a very important film for the horror genre. Much like Night of the Living Dead, this one was kind of a pioneer of its own. This film sparked kind of a large portion of the serial killer horror films that came out in the 70s and 80s. It is a very iconic film that has some of the most memorable scenes in all of horror movie history, and it does a really good job at telling its story. One of the film's strongest elements is, in my opinion, its soundtrack, or sometimes lack thereof. I did notice that there were some very key scenes in the film that there's wouldn't be any sound going on except for what was on screen. No background music or anything, and that kind of made a very eerie, realistic kind of terror. I was on the edge of my seat with this movie, even though I've seen it a couple of times. Upon its release, the film was banned in many countries and was given an R rating by the MPAA. It's one of those movies that I really like and can't really recommend enough. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was kind of a horror pioneer, and it delivers on every level. Yeah, I really like this movie. I think it's very well done, very well executed. The gore in the film is, to a point, very minimal. I mean, there's some things that are gory in it, but a small portion is left to the imagination, which I like. Yeah, like I said, I really like this movie. Can't recommend it enough. Overall, I'll probably give it a 9 out of 10. It's a classic for a reason, and it is, you know, a very well done movie. So I do recommend it. Tell me, guys, have you seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? If you have, what do you think of it? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? What did you think of the plot? What did you think of the originality of it, I guess? You know, for its time. What do you think the film means? Comment below, let me know. Love to hear your feedback. If you guys like this video, be sure to like, favorite, subscribe. Be sure to check out other videos. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. If you have any movie suggestions or TV suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And as always, I am Cory, and I will see you guys in the next one.